The shift happened because we became very competitive. With globalization, a lot of things came in. So I am part of the part where, like the generation which got into the globalization, but my childhood was very normal, where I did not have that much exposure to screen. The quietest child I've seen has become the team captain, right? Somebody who is seen as bully is a very strong word, but who comes across very strong and loud, listens to others, right?
Hello and welcome to StartupPod, a collaborative podcast by Ideas to Impact Hub and Binge Pods, where we talk to successful startup founders so your idea can take the next step for itself. Today we have Shweta Singh, the founder of Get Out and Play India. Get Out and Play India is working towards getting your children out of their houses and getting them involved in sports activities. Welcome, Shweta.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming around here. Our collaboration, our engagement has been very personal for us. So it's a pleasure hosting you today on the podcast.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Yes.
Thank you.
To start up with, I love to ask this question. Where did you get the inspiration to start Go API from?
Okay. So it's been my personal journey. It started with my own daughter a couple of years back. So our best childhood memory is always, going out with friends, playing for hours and coming back. But as my daughter was growing, I saw that she was refused to go out and always wanted to be with her iPad, her phone, and wherever we went, that had to be with her. So somewhere I thought of looking for options, so how, that sports is never a rocket science, right? So how difficult can it be? So I went out, I looked for options for her. And I saw that commutation was a big hassle. Wherever I went, my 2-3 hours were gone. It was not fun because it was extremely competitive. So wherever we had basketball, football, whatever they were playing, it was at a very competitive level. When you ask a 6 or 7-year-old, they want to engage in more fun activities. And safety was another concern. So she had to be accompanied always. So as I started looking around, I saw option that there are a lot of aggregators who tell me where to go, where to take my child for me, basketball, gymnastics. But my issue was not getting solved. It was not only me, a lot of parents were facing the same thing. And our kids were not going down and were stuck at home with their screens. So that was the genesis of Get Out and Play India, where we thought, okay, let's bring sports to them and in a fun and engaging way. So that's where it started. And with my work, I started doing these summer camps with multiple sports activities. And we saw 60% conversion. That more than 60% children of that society and community started coming down and playing. So they only wanted that opportunity. So that's where we thought, okay, let's organize this and create something big where it's not only we service 1 or 2 apartments, but across India we can bring children out and get them playing. Yeah.
So how does exactly Go API work? I mean, if I am to do something for my, say, niece or nephews, how would I approach you and how would you help me set it up in my society?
Okay. So we are just a call away, and whatever premises, however small, however big you are, you have a small lawn, you have a parking lot. A lot of spaces right now in gated communities, they are making spaces like basketball court, a lawn tennis court, a TT room, a clubhouse. So we come there, our team would see that what are the kind of sports that the children can engage in. We have 12 plus sports and counting, be it football, basketball, all kinds of martial arts, skating, TT, squash, gymnastics, right? And then we do a few demos of 2 or 3 sports. We see what the consensus is, and then we plan a week-long sports this for it. And all our coaches are freelancers, and they are certified coaches, and they would come and train the children. So it's extremely easy. It's just a phone call away or a click away, and then you can enroll your child within your society. Yeah.
How many of these communities are we serving today?
Right now we have 32 communities. We and a couple of schools as well, where we are focused in school and after school activities. We are Decathlon. We are serving in Pune, Bangalore. We just started with Mumbai as well.
What about Decathlon? How are you engaged with them?
So we use it for sports activities. So basketball, skating. So these are the kind of activities we have. So now we have started few academies as well. So, so a lot of these communities are standalone, and they wouldn't have much space. So we have identified spaces in between which we can utilize for multiple sports, where children can come and play as well. So our aim is that to reach out to as many children and make it as much accessible. So that schools, that communities, those are academies. So whoever can reach there, we reach out to them and give them options. Yeah.
And what would you say is that one factor that's stopping parents from enrolling their children to such activities?
The intent is there, I would say, right? Because we have grown up playing, all of us have grown up playing, and we know the value of going out and playing because we've got open spaces, right? The intent is there. I think one of the biggest hurdle is we've become extremely competitive, right? So everything has become very result oriented, very outcome oriented. So if I'm paying around 5,000 for my child's tuition, I'm already forecasting, okay, 10 years down the line he's going to be an engineer, doctor, and earn this much. We're not being able to quantify sports. Right? Because sports is not quantifiable. It's something you experience. The kind of life skills that you learn 10 years, 20 years down the line when you're in the corporate world, the kind of life skills you will need there is something which starts here. But because it's not quantifiable, so it's not, people or parents are not recognizing the importance of it. So still, I think in the priority list, it is a bit low. So that is a major challenge. There is acceptance and there is willingness, but there has to be, I think, more focus, and it has to be prioritized above everything else.
Right. The iPad generation, today's generation, are they really willing to leave behind their video games, and how are we tackling with that? Are there particular activities that are getting them hooked to sports activities?
That's a very good question, because this is what a lot of people are skeptical about when they start off. But honestly, kids just pick it on, right? And now we are getting feedback from parents that the children don't want to come back home, and they want to stay down and play. So they were just waiting for an opportunity. So the intent is there. They want to come down and play. They were not getting enough opportunity or the enough space and enough guidance to come down and play, right? So the other day, there was just a group of people in my community. I was just walking around and they were just chit-chatting, these kids. And I took this dabba. We used to play dabba ice spice a lot. Remember? So I just took this dabba and I said, let's play dabba ice spice. 1 hour where it went, we didn't know. Right? The thing is that they don't know how to utilize their time. And that's where we need to organize it. So the kids, I would say, are the most accepting of this, the entire playing down. And once they are down, they wouldn't go back. Our summer camps have been a big hit. Our summer camps, the entire month, the kids are engaged. And it's not only for those 2 hours that they are engaged, right? So because they meet and they play along, then the entire day they are engaged with each other and they're looking for creative ways to get along and work on new projects apart from screens. So very organically they come away from screens and start playing.
Right.
So yeah.
And earlier, like we used to play Dabba Ice Spice, or even used to go to these classes even. That was a fad back in our days as well. It was so easy to go to these classes and just have fun playing, say, badminton and play games like Lagori during the break.
Right.
Where did that gap, just vanish off? Where did that come into place where children could not really go and attend these classes or be a part of such communities? Where do you think that shift happened?
The shift happened because we became very competitive. With globalization, a lot of things came in, and so I am part of the part where like the generation which got into the globalization. But my childhood was very normal, where I did not have that much exposure to screen. I did not have the other news surrounding me. I did not have the kind of pressure with the kind of pressure which children have right now. So they have to be good at everything. So the competition which I very regularly quote is, now the competition is not with your neighbor. The competition is with the entire world, because you have exposure. As a parent, I have exposure to everything, and that's what I'm expecting. Be it your drawing, be it your education, be it sports, be it the way you're speaking, the way you're behaving. For everything now there is a benchmark.
Right.
What was supposed to be more free is now they put it in a box,
Yeah.
right? So because of that, even the interest level goes down, right? Once you're free to do something, you enjoy it. But the moment you take that away and only put discipline and put benchmarks and ask for report cards for your performance, then you start losing interest. So I think that is the shift that has happened. It's become extremely competitive, and prioritization. It's a lot more competitive right now because of which. Yeah. I
So
think
are you
it's-
also working on any initiatives that help parents get out of that zone, putting pressure on children like that?
No, I wouldn't blame parents for this. It comes with the entire ecosystem, right? Because you have to be ahead of others to go up is what the trend. But be it schools, they're extremely competitive, right? In companies, I think everywhere, so everyone is competitive. So I wouldn't say it's only parents that are competitive, but what we do is we only give it through experience, right? So when we go there, we engage the child for the entire week. We tell them very clearly, we are not an academy, so if you're expecting your child to be, maybe a national level player or something, we'll guide you there. You have to take the 10,000 hours of your life, not the child, but you have to. Next 5 years, 6 hours each day, consistently for your child. Take them to an academy, which we will tell you. They take care of the nutrition, they take care of the finances, and your child will reach somewhere. And that somewhere may not be national, because that will, that's less than 1%. Yeah, and less than 0.5% is international. But if you're ready for that, we'll take you there. Otherwise, we're giving you a second option. Let the child enjoy the entire week in a fun way. They will upskill, of course.
Yeah.
They will come out and play, but they'll enjoy as well, and they're learning very important life skills. So we have these conversations, but honestly, more than conversation is the children when they come down. Each day they want to be at 5 o'clock. They want to be, even if we are there or we are not there. Like if the coach is coming or not, but 5 o'clock all the kids are down on the ground and play. What more pleasure do these parents want? And they also see a lot of change in the behavior of the child. So I think it's becoming very organic. And we keep these dialogue on, and we are very this with our values that we will keep it fun, we will keep it engaging, and we will keep it for all. So yeah. So that's it.
And while we were talking, I think negating the competition completely, it's not necessary either, because healthy competition also teaches you so much.
Yes.
Once you go out in the adult world, there is always going to be competition.
Agreed.
And if it's in a playful way with your friend that you can, have an up and down with, that's the way to do it, and that's the way to build your mentality.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. And that's what happens when you're on ground, the kind of skills you're learning, like you said. You're upset with someone, you actually do a playoff on the ground. You know how to put in your aggression. The quietest child I've seen has become the team captain, right? And has somebody who is seen as bully is a very strong word, but who comes across very strong and loud, listens to others, right? So these are the kind of skills you're building where very naturally is on the ground. So you're very right. So these are the kind of skills which children need to experience. Yeah.
So this is all about what you're doing and the solution that you're providing. But how did you find the opportunity to build a business in this? What does the revenue model look like for you?
So we are into 3 categories through which our revenues are done. One is sports at doorstep, which is the biggest one, where we come directly at your doorstep. The second one is schools and after schools, which we are catering to. And the third one is events. Right? And how this came in was, like I said, first when we did the pilot, I think we got 60% plus children, so that was a success for us. So we thought, let's start engaging more. So in Pune and Bangalore, it's going well, and we are seeing some good traction there. A corporate and events level is still a smaller portion of it, but the accessibility to the community level, that is going well. Yeah.
I hope no hierarchies were hurt.
Not at all. Everybody was there. Everybody actually played, and this came back again and again. That after our childhood, after our college, after our school, we are playing now. So it also shows the gap.
Right.
That
like after 30 years, you are experiencing something else.
Yeah. And as simple and as smallest of space you can do.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah.
And combining all these 3-4 types of revenues that you have, what would you say your P&L looks like? The incoming streams as well as the expenses.
So you're asking for the buckets, or you're asking for
the buckets, the numbers, whichever you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So numbers we won't go for, but we have, we are break even right now and moving towards profitability. The reason being that we are now extending to multiple cities. Now, when you do that, you set up a team.
Correct.
And there are expenses there. But otherwise, even our gross looks pretty good as such. And yeah, so we're growing.
So you must have gone through multiple pitching sessions.
Yes.
Right. For the debt as well as multiple other validating platforms. So how about I give you 3 minutes to make another sales pitch. That's your cue, that's your camera, and you are to reach out to our audience.
So what's your best childhood memory? For me, it was going out and playing out with my friends, and literally we were dragged back home. But when I see now, like the children around me and my daughter herself, she did not want to go out. She always wanted to be on screen with her with the phone and iPad. And slowly, I started seeing the change in her behavior. She became, she did not want to connect or network with anyone. She was getting a bit aggressive. So that's where I was looking for a solution. And what I saw was that wherever I went or other parents were going, a lot of time was spent on commutation. Traffic is, in cities, it's like a big issue, and safety is a concern. So somebody always has to accompany, and it's extremely competitive. So if we are taking my child to a basketball court, then to gymnastics, then to swimming, we are rallying around the entire city. So it was not feasible. So at the end of the day, it was not fun as well. So how can we change that? That was when we thought that why don't we bring multiple sports, fun, in a fun way, right at your doorstep, where a child just needs to take the lift, come down and start playing. And this is how we started with Get Out and Play India. We started in Pune, we had 32 communities and counting. And then we moved to Bangalore, which again, the idea was validated, and now there are almost 12 plus communities past 8 months. And we are starting in Mumbai as well. So idea is very simple, to make sports accessible to all and get everybody out and playing. So हमें सबको खिलाना है.
Amazing, yes. You've sold the idea to me, so let's face off in a Lagori match.
Yes, absolutely.
You have also been working towards the children with special needs. So I would like to know more about that, because in that case, safety becomes a very, very huge of a concern. So how are you tackling with that?
Yeah. So yes, so I would like to emphasize we are inclusive. Yeah. And when we say inclusive, all children, and we don't really draw a line. The thing is that why I need to emphasize this is that we only do group activities. We've got a lot of requests for personal activities for children with special needs. But I think the biggest gap right now we have is inclusion, which has to start very young. It cannot start at a very, at a very older age. You cannot accept that kind of this acceptance. So yes, our coaches go through 14 hours of orientation. There are industry experts who give them, these trainings. Our trainings are not on skills, because all our coaches are already skilled, and that's why we have hired them. Our focus is how to understand the mind-body connection. What are the different sensories that are working? And when I say mind-body connection, I'm saying every child, right? If there is a visible disability or no. But every child needs to be dealt in a certain way. Like, let me give you an example. A very, very easy way of calling any child is a clumsy, or is hyperactive. Which if my mentor hears, they won't like it, because it's a very casually used word. But why is it happening? So those are the answers that we teach our coaches. That there's a mind and body connection, right? Something is triggering them. It can be touch, it can be the environment around you, it can be the light, which is activating few things in the brain, because of which that's the reaction of it. Now the moment you understand that the child is reacting because of that, right, your approach to it also changes, and that's the approach we give, right? And so we tell them very clearly that there's no differentiation, special need or no special need, because every child has, in their growing age, they're growing their motor skills, they're growing their sensories. There will be something, right? You need to understand the entire thing, and you need to approach your session that way. So that's our approach. It's been a very simple approach, because that's how even we've grown. So I never knew that, which child with me has a special need. If the physical disability, it was seen, but still we played together.
Right.
I still remember one of my friends did not have a foot, right? But we played together, and we never even thought. But now I thought, okay, how did she do that?
Yeah.
Right? But as kids, you're playing together. So that's the philosophy we go with. That we will follow the same philosophy for every child, and not make it, something for children with special needs. Or not, yeah.
On that note, it might be a little tricky, but how do you make these communities then bully-proof?
Very interesting question. Now, who's the bully? Bully is not a child. Is never a child, right? Bully, when we were kids, when we had fights, we never used the word bully. It's just that, we are having a disagreement, and there's a way we are resolving it on ground, right? But now, bully is a word we use any kind of argument, any kind of disagreement, any kind of reaction a child is with, which is very natural, right? In that kind of environment, it becomes bully. I would say we grown-ups are bully that time, because that's the way we are perceiving their interaction. They are just interacting. So I'll give you an example. So there was this child in one of our groups, in a martial arts group, who had ADHD.
Okay.
Right, and the thing was that everybody, and only 7-8-year-olds, and very young, so everybody played with each other, and he used to always wander off, right, wherever he was, and everybody was here, and he used to wander off. Now, coach didn't give him any this. He was not strict with him, but he made few games or something that he has to be with him. Right, and slowly in few sessions, he saw that the coach, that he always followed the coach wherever the coach is standing. That's the rule that he used to go, because he made a rule for him, right, and he followed that. But then there were disagreements and all that. So sometimes he used to just close his ears and shout, or sometimes just sit and not listen. Sometimes there was an aggression on another child, right? But that child understood. It's like a friend, right? And they were like fighting with each other. There wasn't a disagreement. They were just handling. The kids were handling. We allow the kids to handle it by themselves. It's no big deal. It's happened with us. It's healthy, the kind of interaction, because they're also adjusting to each other. Why is he doing that? Why is he not listening? I'm listening to sir, and then he'll say something, and then he'll say something to back. So, but they deal, and then they get used to it. The problem comes when parents come in between, right? So the bullying starts there from the parent, that my child is being differentiated, my child is being separated, and again, I would say again, it's a controversial way of saying, but I think as parents, be it special needs or not, again, I would say, I think we need to be a little more resilient, as resilient as our children, and as accepting. Right? So we have created those borders, and we have become, I would say, hypersensitive. I would use for grown-ups. So whatever is happening, we are trying to give it a meaning. Sometimes it's just growing up, and we should let that be. So I don't think there's any bullying in children, right? I think we grown-ups need to see it in a different way. Yeah.
That's a very positive outlook to that. You've been working with children, and things like that don't just sprung about on theory. What would you say is that one business lesson that taught you more than any B school could?
One, I would directly go to my business. I would say I would say that don't get on technology unless and until you find a viable product on the ground. Yeah, so I was completely bootstrapped when I came out because tech was a thing, and everybody wanted that. So I started with technology. I burnt a lot of money there before coming into operations, and then when I saw I was a non-tech tech person, and that's when I thought, no, it's important to see the viability of your product. Who's going to pay? Are you going to get pay customers for it? Right? And is there a need for it? That will happen only on ground. It won't happen through technology.
Right.
So that was a big lesson. I think I wouldn't have got anywhere else. Is you have to research well. You have to be on the ground. See, make it. Others will believe you only if you believe in your product and you have brought this product in the market, and then
you can introduce the tech.
Yeah.
Technology has to be the bridge between your product and the accessibility towards it.
Yeah.
Not the main product.
It should not be. Yeah. It's an enabler, right? In a big part of our life is it is going to be an enabler.
Right.
Rest all is something you have to do on ground.
Now, to put a perfect bow on our conversation, I want to wrap it up with a rapid fire round. Right? We really indulged into the whole sports industry and the details of how to get children out and play. So let's keep this as quick, as on fire as possible. Right? We've talked about coaches and courses. So what's that one course that you'd recommend to our audience?
Audience, and also all the business women. Actually, I recently did this IMB Goldman Sachs 10K program. So it was a very enriching 3 months program. So I think women entrepreneurs, you have an established business, just go for it.
What's that one app that you would recommend?
I think Fitter is a really good app. Yeah.
So you use it on the go?
I use it very frequently, and they have a lot of stuff which they also give free of cost. One is the enrollment part of it, and the other is which.
If not for this, what else would you be doing today?
And I dread that I would still be in my corporate world. So I came from my corporate world 12 years. No, but I would be something which I had already decided to do something around children, which I was always very close to. I'm not sure what that would have been. Maybe I would just get kids together and do little activities, something like that, but it would be something related to children.
Who is your business role model?
This rapid fire is not going fast, not going rapid. I think again, I really admire Jiten Choksey. Yeah, I really admire because he was bootstrapped when he started,
right.
And when initially actually I followed him from his initial year,
the Bangalore journey.
Yeah. So all of it, and how he started ground up, very organized. He tested it; it went well, and until now, I see that investments is not something that he focuses on. His focus has always been on value addition.
Thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please do share, like, and subscribe so you don't miss out on our future episodes as well. This is your host Sayali signing off.